In the river-cut village of Iruwa, love was never considered a simple emotion. It was believed to be a covenant, signed in silence, witnessed by ancestors, and enforced by forces that did not speak with human mouths. At the shrine by the water's edge, elders poured palm wine onto stone and scattered kola nuts into the sand, chanting names older than the forest itself. Smoke drifted upward as though carrying those vows into invisible skies. And everyone knew that what spirits blessed, they could also reclaim. Aderemi did not think about such things when he carved canoes beside the river. Then one morning he noticed a woman standing alone in the shallows, staring at her reflection as though the water might speak back. Her name was Mareo. The river bent around her ankles. Light shimmered where it should not. When she asked, softly, whether he built boats or escapes, he laughed without understanding why his chest tightened. She returned the next dawn. And the next. They spoke beneath palm leaves, trading fragments of dreams, until she crossed the threshold of his hut and never quite left. She cooked meals that tasted like scarcity remembered, and sang songs that made the air thicken, melodies that seemed to pause the insects outside. At night she traced spirals across his skin, murmuring that the symbols were for protection. He believed her. Love makes believers of careful men. But the village watched. Dogs shrank from her path. At sunset, when shadows stretched long across red earth, hers weakened, then vanished before touching the ground. His uncle seized his arm and whispered that he was growing thin, that something was drinking from him while he slept. Aderemi laughed at first, until he began to see his ribs where muscle once lived, until he stared into the river and barely recognized the man gazing back. One night he reached toward her shadow on the wall, and his fingers slid through it, meeting nothing but cold air. Fear settled into his bones. At dawn he followed her through forest paths slick with dew, past farms and traps, into a stretch of mangroves no one visited anymore. There, among broken statues and roots tangled like ribs, she knelt in sand marked with ancient signs and whispered toward empty water. The ground answered with trembling ripples. When he stepped from hiding and demanded the truth, she turned slowly. Moonlight flooded her eyes. The river seemed to breathe inside her chest. Mist gathered into shapes that were almost human, circling her like judges without faces. She stood between worlds, no longer fully woman, not yet something else. And in that moment, Aderemi understood that love had led him to the edge of something far older than desire.